Thank you for calling the City of Tallahassee. To ensure quality service, your call may be recorded. Para español, marque 9. In a few words, please tell me what you're calling about.
Trash pickup, toxic smell.
Okay, waste pickup services. I see the telephone number you're calling from is that the number associated with your City of Tallahassee account?
Yes.
Are you looking for the pickup schedule for, say yes or no?
Yes.
Unfortunately, this service is not available at the address provided. To hear that information again, you can say, repeat that. If you don't need anything else, you can hang up the phone now. If you need assistance with something else, please say, main menu. You can also say, representative, to speak to someone now.
Representative.
For calling the City of Tallahassee. To ensure quality service, your call may be recorded. Para español, marque 9. In a few words, please tell me what you're calling about.
Supervisor.
Your direct feedback is extremely important to us. Would you help us by answering a few brief questions immediately following your call that should take no more than a few minutes of your time? Press 1 for yes or 2 for no. Thank you. Please remain on the line after you complete your interaction.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for calling the City of Tallahassee. This is Monique, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking to today?
My name is Omar Mohsen Ibrahim Fuad.
Okay, Mr. Omar, and how are you today?
I feel sick, to be quite honest with you. I also have neck injuries and back injuries. My hands and arms keep going
I'm sorry to
numb.
hear that.
Yesterday,
you have a cold?
Yesterday I went to throw out the garbage, and the garbage that is in front of the mailbox area here, they removed that dumpster, so now it's just like a shell, a concrete shell of where the dumpster used to be. And they have 2 dumpsters all the way in the back far corner of the neighborhood. The dumpster area has garbage all around it on the floor. There's a toxic smell that's in the air that you immediately notice when you approach the dumpster area to throw your garbage away. And it's just not sanitary at all. Like, literally, I went to throw the garbage yesterday, and I started feeling sick. And, you know, I take precaution when I throw the garbage every time. You know, I literally wear garbage bags on my legs, on my pants, just so the whatever garbage from other people who throw their garbage, being that it's on the floor surrounding the dumpster area, does not get onto my shoes or my clothes. And then when I enter my house, I remove the garbage bags off of my feet. And I enter my house, you know, hoping that none of that garbage that's on the floor or that's lingering or that toxicity does not enter my house when I enter my house.
Right.
And also another thing, too, yesterday when they were cutting the grass in the neighborhood here, so that might have, you know, been a factor as well, being that they have the situation with the Roundup weed killer situation, the chemicals that they use for the for lawn and maintenance. There's a toxic chemical that they have in that particular thing that they use to spray down the lawn and to kill the weeds and all that stuff. It's very contagious. So that might have been
Right.
a factor, because I also noticed that my skin was itching really bad when I returned home. But
Right.
the toxic smell that's around the garbage is very toxic, and you immediately notice it. And I started feeling sick, and they put a sign on everybody's door that says if they catch anybody leaving their garbage outside of the dumpster box, they're going to charge them $100 fine. And there's garbage all over the outside of the dumpster box. So
Right.
that's not fair for people who are following the rules, and them having to obviously throw their garbage, but be subject to the carelessness of people who just throw their garbage on the floor outside the dumpster box. This is causing a lot of different
Right.
problems for people. It's toxic smells that people are inhaling. It's
Right. Absolutely.
toxicity that's lingering around the garbage, and it's obviously getting onto their clothes and onto their person, and then they're entering their homes, and now it's in their homes, and it's lingering in their house. So it's a big problem. And
Right.
so they need to do two of several things. They need to add another dumpster, because those two dumpsters for the entire neighborhood is not enough, obviously. And then three, just like they're maintaining the lawn and the grass area around the neighborhood, they need to maintain the garbage. They need to pick up all the garbage that's on the floor, not just around the dumpster area, but they need to pick up the garbage that people are throwing on the floor outside people's houses, the dog feces.
Right. And are you in a house? You in an apartment complex, right?
It's like a townhouse type of community.
Okay.
They're like individual
What's the
buildings.
landlord saying?
Well, I own this particular townhouse, and
Okay.
I've been doing my best. I've been here. I was the first one to move into this neighborhood when they were building it, and since the first day, I've been trying to help them, maintain everything. There's been several situations where people have been trying to steal construction equipment, electrical panels, high price value, things that they're installing into the houses before people are actually able to move into the houses. And like, for example, that townhouse in front of my location, there was a situation where there were two women, a heavyset white woman, and then a shorter white woman, and it looked like it could have been a woman that was driving, or a short Spanish male, possibly Mexican, who was driving the truck. And they were going around the neighborhood in the middle of the rain at like 4:00 in the morning, and they were stealing $20,000 electrical panels from the houses that were still under construction. And I caught them. Called 911, gave them a description, and the superintendent of the construction site, Mr. Sean, he thanked me, because they hit 5 or 6 different houses. And he was accurate when he said that, because the back of the truck that they were in had about 5 or 6 different large electrical panels in it, and each one of them was about $20,000. And
Right.
so I've been trying my best to help them, make sure it's an ideal neighborhood for people. It's a safe neighborhood for people, and things like that. For one of several reasons, which is, for example, my townhouse. I've got rooms in my townhouse that I'm going to be renting, but I'm making sure that anybody that is going to be renting my rooms is able to afford, their rent, obviously, their necessary living necessities, their hygiene products, of course, their food, and to make sure that, they're going to respect the neighbors and all of those contributing factors. And
Absolutely.
so all of those things are imperative, and you know, for the for the long term success of the neighborhood, and of course, the health of the people that are living here. If we just let any person move in, it's going to cause problems, obviously, because
Right, absolutely.
perfect example, the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. If everybody had preventative care from the beginning, the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic would have never been a thing, because
Right.
preventative care is what prevents problems like that from happening. But people didn't have preventative care. They just went off of, whatever was trending at the time, and, whatever people found to be popular at the time, and they just went along with it. And they were subject to
Right.
marketing schemes and, toxic forms of entertainment that were trending that turned out to be crimes. And people found that out the hard
Right.
way after, people died and people almost dying, and, medical malpractice,
Mhm.
medical negligence, reoccurring violations of U.S. codes and healthcare statutes, and all those contributing factors.
Right.
So I told my parents.
Yep.
And they said, first thing they said, you need to call the city. So I'm calling the city. I'm doing what my parents directed me to do, and I need the situation to be properly addressed. I need it to be properly investigated, and all of those contributing factors. Another thing too,
Okay.
during the Christmas time, when the construction was still at its peak here, they had a construction dumpster in the middle area. For example, when you enter the community, and then they had a construction dumpster right there, and the construction dumpster was always completely full, and there was garbage all around it on the floor, just like the garbage dumpster that's in the back corner of the neighborhood was always full, and there was always garbage on the floor. And the dumpster that was in the area of the mailbox area was always full, and there was garbage on the floor. The particular dumpster, the construction dumpster that they had in the front of the neighborhood, it had a similar toxic smell, and when you would approach it, you would start feeling sick, and you would start feeling symptoms similar to the coronavirus. Your body would start heating up. You would start feeling sick, as if the smell and the toxic substance that was lingering was contagious. And it was obviously the same situation as it is now. And and they made me feel sick then. So I knew from experience to take precaution even more than I already am when I'm throwing the garbage. And I figured that it was just because it was Christmas time, and people, they were engaging in different types of activities during the Christmas holiday, and they were throwing away, obviously, different types of garbage, being that it was the Christmas season, and it was just that much more toxic and contagious than it usually would be. But when I threw the garbage out yesterday, it was the same situation, and there's only
Right.
that one. There's only those two dumpsters for the entire neighborhood. So,
Right.
and you've got people, always coming to this neighborhood from other neighborhoods across the street, and the adjacent community behind it. So, it's like we have to take extra precaution, not just, expect everybody, not just expect everybody to, be law-abiding citizens.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Okay. So, yes, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is, because I do have this all written down, before we get off the line, I'm going to contact Resolutions because they help with all of those things. So I'm going to get that over to them, and then I'm going to transfer you in, okay?
Okay, so you need me to repeat all this over to somebody else?
No, I'm going to repeat it to them.
Okay.
And then they can explain to you exactly what's going to get done, okay?
All right.
All right, one moment.
Good afternoon. Thank you for contacting the City of Tallahassee. This is Pamela. How can I help you?
Hello?
Hey, this is Pamela with the City of Tallahassee. How can I help you?
I think I was just talking to you.
No, it wasn't me, but what can I do for you?
Oh, you sound like the same person. You just kind of like sarcastically sound more white.
Wow. No, I wasn't that person. How can I help you, sir?
So are you aware that I was my phone was transferred to you? My phone call?
I have no idea. It would have been nice had they told me that they were transferring you over. I don't know the nature of your call at all. So how can I help you?
Well, I was just speaking with somebody, and I explained to them in detail, and they said they were going to explain it to you, and then you would tell me what they were going to do about that.
Is it about a parking citation? What is it about? They didn't. I wish I would have known who. Did you get that person's name?
Possibly in the beginning of the call. I don't remember her name, though, but I explained the situation in detail. I'm also not feeling well because of the situation, and I've got injuries to my neck and my back. My hands and arms keep going numb. There's a situation involving the trash pickup and the maintenance of the trash in this neighborhood. The garbage cans are always full. The garbage dumpsters are always full. There's always garbage all around the dumpsters, and it's contagious. Literally, when you throw in the garbage away, you feel sick when you approach the dumpster area.
Okay, did you not contact the apartment complex? You mentioned it was a dumpster. That's not, the City of Tallahassee or Waste Pro, all they can do is dump it. It's up to them to try to keep the area clean. You guys don't have a maintenance person?
I don't know, ma'am. I don't know. I informed my family about the situation, and they told me to contact the city.
That is up to the property management to keep that area clean. All the city can do, or even Waste Pro can do, is drive in, dump the dumpster, and that's that, and leave. It's most complexes have maintenance people that walk around every morning or even at night and pick up and make sure that the place looks presentable. So that's who's at fault here, sounds like.
So I informed the superintendent, Mr. Sean, of this brand new construction property, and he said that they put signs on the doors stating that if anybody leaves the garbage outside the dumpsters, there is $100 fine. And I specifically asked.
That's a start, yeah.
And I specifically stated to him, there's garbage all over the place. And
where is it located? Just out of curiosity.
My address is.
I know the area. Yeah, it's pretty decent looking area.
So I threw out the garbage yesterday, and I started feeling sick when I approached the garbage area. And I take all the precaution I could. I literally wear garbage bags over my feet, over my legs, just so the garbage that's on the floor and around the garbage area doesn't linger and get onto my clothes, and then I enter my house, and then it's lingering and getting into my house. And before I enter my house,
just so you'll know, it sounds like they're not doing a good job with keeping the area clean. I suggest if you don't own the property, maybe moving if this is an ongoing issue.
No, I'm not going to move. It's a brand new construction property. I specifically moved here because literally every other place I was able to find were either uninhabitable rental properties or borderline uninhabitable rental properties that were infested with mold and filth and pests, and it was not the best place for someone to move to, especially when they have injuries to their neck and their back, And they're also trying to obtain their law degree and their medical degree and be able to focus and retain information and not be distracted by, you know, uninhabitable rental areas.
Right.
So, like I said, this is a brand new construction property. So things like this need to be addressed immediately. I brought this to their attention during the Christmas time when they had an extra construction dumpster. They had two extra dumpsters. They had the dumpster near the mailbox area, which they removed, and they had a construction dumpster that was in the front of the neighborhood. All of the dumpsters were always...
Yeah, and this all sounds like it's on private property. Again, if the Waste Pro is not dumping the trash as they should, then that's a concern where we can notify Waste Pro, like, listen, we've been getting complaints that you guys are not dumping the dumpster as you should. But this is definitely private property. You need to, speak with management. Maybe they could, and sounds like they're trying to do something by, tacking on $100 fee if people aren't doing what they're supposed to do with trash. That's a start for sure. That's a lot of money, you know?
So one of two things is happening. Either the community is aware that there's trash all over the place and they're putting that $100 fine, and or they're putting that $100 fine and they're aware that there's trash all over the place and they're not picking it up, and they're aware that, people are obviously going to get sick, especially when that garbage becomes toxic and contagious and people have to approach that area to throw their garbage out. And or one of two other things are happening. The dumpster, when it's being thrown away, or when these garbage truck is throwing away the garbage that's inside the garbage dumpster, there's garbage falling onto the floor and they're just leaving it there.
Yeah, I mean, it's set up to where once you put the holes in, the trash, they don't dump it until it goes inside the garbage truck. If that's the case, we'd have trash everywhere. I don't think, not to say nothing may not fall from time to time, but not much.
Well, there's a lot of garbage on the floor. And literally, when you approach the garbage area, you start feeling sick. At least I did yesterday.
Okay, well, oh man, that sounds terrible. But yeah, there's nothing that we can do about it because it's on your property. We don't go on folks' property and start picking up trash and telling them what they need to do with the trash. It's your management. It's a management issue.
Is there a copy of this complaint that I could get? Or reference number?
What do you mean? No, my name is Pamela Hall. I mean, these calls are recorded for quality assurance purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you have to call back and you want to say, hey, I talked to Pam and she told me this, give your phone number and it can be pulled up.
Okay.
If you need it for a lawsuit or whatever, I mean, I stand firm on what I told you. I mean, that is your apartment complex responsibility. It is not the city's responsibility to go on your property and start picking up trash. I mean, I don't know why your apartment complex told you. Oh, you said your mom or your family member told you to call the city because they should know better. They ought to know better, the apartment complex. That's just like me, if you own that, or someone's coming to my house telling me what to do with my trash, or saying, oh, let me pick up your trash because you're not picking it up. No one is going to do that because I own this property. I'm the responsible party for making sure it looks like it's supposed to look. Does that make sense?
It all depends, really. I mean, it's a big community. There's a lot of different types of people who live here. So they have a lot of different types of situations. They have
the apartment complex should hold the tenants
they
can
have
hold them responsible for making sure that it stays clean.
yeah, they have different types of insurance coverage. For example, some people are on government benefits. Some people, are subject to, different types of preventative care, for example, and things like that. So it's just like during the coronavirus pandemic, the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic would have never, been a pandemic if everyone had preventative care, but everybody didn't have preventative care. People just went along with, what was trending at the time. And, a lot of those things that were trending at the time were just, were toxic forms of entertainment that were trending. And people just, went along with it and continued to live their life in accordance with that because, there's only so many things people can do, after work, to, get their mind off of work, and a lot of those things that people found, entertaining were toxic things that were trending, and that led to the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. But if everybody had preventative care, it wouldn't have turned into a pandemic. And it's just one of those things, I'm trying to prevent these types of situations from happening, at the least in this neighborhood, being that it's a brand new construction property. And
I'd recommend wearing a mask every time you go to the trash can. That may help some as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking all the precaution I could. Like I said, I'm even putting garbage bags on my pants when I'm walking to the garbage area, or when I'm walking around the area, in general, even to check my mail at the mailbox. And so I'm taking all the precaution I possibly could, because during the Christmas time, I noticed the same thing, and I thought it just might have been because it was Christmas season, and people were throwing out, different types of garbage, being that it was the holiday season, and it was just that contagious, because literally when I approached the dumpster area, I immediately started feeling sick, and the symptoms that I felt were the similar symptoms and signs of the coronavirus. My body started feeling hot. I started feeling sick. My head started hurting, and it was almost identical symptoms of the coronavirus. But I thought it might have just been because of the holiday season, and people were just throwing away, different types of garbage that may have been more contagious than usual. But it's the same thing. Literally, I threw out my garbage yesterday, and when I approached the garbage area, I started feeling sick again. It's just like, for example, like also yesterday, they were cutting the grass in the neighborhood. They're maintaining the lawn and the grass area. And I noticed that, my skin was itching really bad also. So that might have been a contributing factor to it. But then again, if they're maintaining the grass and the lawn area, they should be maintaining the trash that's all over the place, because there's trash around the dumpsters, and there's also trash on the floor in front of people's houses. And I've noticed that, there's people coming from neighborhoods that are adjacent to this community and in front of this community, and they're coming to this neighborhood particularly. So, they're obviously coming to this neighborhood because it's a brand new construction property, and, they enjoy the brand new construction as anybody would, obviously, a new area, clean, why wouldn't somebody want to admire the construction, for example, at the least the children, who I'm noticing are coming from other neighborhoods coming here, they're throwing trash all over the place, and, it's a problem. But I'm documenting it, I'm reporting it. Police told me they're coming here to steal cars and things like that. And, so I'm doing everything I possibly could to make sure the neighborhood remains, in good shape and all of those things, because I'm also trying to rent the rooms out in my particular house. And, I'm doing things, for example, like making sure, the people who I'm going to rent the room out to are able to afford the rent, of course. but also able to afford, their necessary living necessities, their hygiene products, their food, and all those contributing factors, instead of just, letting any person rent the room and then, them obviously falling into some sort of hardship or difficulty, and then that ending up ruining my house. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand. Well, sir, thank you so much for calling us. Again, my suggestion is you contact your apartment manager and go from there, okay? Good luck, okay?
I don't need good luck. I need people to stop breaking the law. And you said your name is Pamela?
It's Pamela.
Say it. How do you spell that?
Pamela.
Pamela. Is there a supervisor there?
Yes. No, not available. No, she's not available.
And what's her name?
Her name is Shannon H. She should be back next week.
Shannon H. And does she have an extension number, or is there a different number to call to get in
You
contact?
call 850-891-5300, and you can ask to speak to her.
Okay. And then and you mentioned these calls are recorded, right?
They are recorded for quality assurance purposes, yes.
Okay. And then so what notes are in the system for this particular call? Like if I would have to call again, or if I were to call to speak with the supervisor and I would say, hey, I called.
There are none. There are none. You know, your address. Do you have an account, a utility account with the city of Tallahassee?
I do. Yes, my utilities.
Okay, I can go. Didn't think we needed to go there, but I can go ahead and put some notes in, and just bear with me a moment.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. I mean, if they could at least reference, like today, for example, it's Wednesday, April 3rd. I've been on the phone for 31 minutes and 12 seconds. The time now is 1:56 p.m. Like, I'd appreciate if they have, these types of notes in the system about this complaint. So, I don't have to repeat all this over again, because literally everything I repeated to you, I just repeated it to the previous representative who transferred me to you. And she specifically said she was going to tell you the complaint that I expressed to her in detail, so I wouldn't have to repeat it. And then you would just going to tell me what I need to do from there. But she just transferred me directly to you, and it was obviously a cold transfer. It wasn't a warm transfer.
It was definitely a cold one. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you I was having some issues bringing my computer back up, but I do know that I didn't, and I don't even know what that had to do with anything. I just know that I, answered the phone call and it was you. So I do apologize. So just bear with me here. I am pulling up. What is going on with our system? Just bear with me here.
And how much does the service cost for there to be a dumpster in the neighborhood and for them to pick it up once or twice a week? How much does that service cost?
It depends. That's a solid waste issue. It depends on what package. And again, you mentioned once or twice a week. It could be once. It could be twice. It depends on what management chose. There's a form that they filled out. Go ahead and give me your address again, sir. You're Omar, correct?
Yes, ma'am. My full name is Omar Mohsen Ibrahim Fuad. So first name Omar, Omar, and then Mohsen Mary.
Omar, this is weird. How long have you been staying over there? Because it shows as a commercial account.
So I've been here since October of 2023.
Last year, let me see what else I can find here. Okay. Originally. Okay, I'll put notes in. I do have it. Have your account up, so advise. Customer.
Say that again.
Okay. Oh, basically, I just put in the notes that I'd advise you that your property management is the responsible party for keeping your grounds clean and sanitized, not the city of Tallahassee.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
That's basically what I told you.
Yeah, I guess that references the complaint as well. And then if you could mention also that, I reported this situation today at this particular day and time. I spoke with 2 different people. I even requested to speak with a supervisor. You provided me with the supervisor's information and told me that she'll be available next week and things like that, just so they could see that it's an urgent matter at the least. And if the problem persists, they have those necessary details in the complaint. That's always important.
Okay. I'll put that in as well.
Okay. And is there a reference number to that particular note or complaint?
It'll be on, if you give your address, they'll be able to pull it up and see this information. No reference number.
Okay, perfect. Could you verify the address that note is under?
Sure. Hold on. Let me add something else. Almost done here. Okay, so your address that we have on file is right. I've actually pulled it up by your email address and your phone numbers.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. And could you verify the spelling of my email address, please?
Sure, it is DUEDILIGENCE corporate@gmail.com.
Yes, that is correct. Due Diligence Corporate.
Basically, Due Diligence Corporate at yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, you take care and enjoy the rest of your day, and you stay safe. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have a badge number by any chance?
I don't. My name is Pamela. I am the only Pam that works on the resolution team.
All right. Well, thank you, Pam. Is there anything I could do for you?
No. I just want you to take care of yourself, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Does the supervisor have a badge number?
She doesn't. Her name is Shannon. Yeah, Shannon G. But she doesn't.
Okay. Does she have a last name?
This is not a huge place. This is not a huge corporation. If you say Shannon, the resolution supervisor, they'll know exactly who you're talking about. It's not you have enough information. It's not going to be hard to track that person down. She or I.
Right. Does she have a last name?
It's Gibbs.
Gibbs. Do you have a last name?
It's Hall. Normally I don't give out this information, but hey, I'm a public service. It is what it is. It's okay.
You said Hall as in Hall?
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Hall. And I hope, this could be a step in the right direction for every neighborhood in Tallahassee, not just this particular brand new construction property.
Well, you take care, Mr. Omar. Let me see if I can say your last name. Is it Fuad?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. My full name is Omar Mohsen Ibrahim Fouad. My father, Mohsen, he retired from the Broward Sheriff's Office after 30 years of service.
Broward County, yeah. So you're up here in school?
Well, currently I'm volunteering for the White House, but I'm also trying to get my law degree and my medical degree.
Oh, combo. Okay. Well, good luck, sir. You take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck with everything. Bye-bye.
Thank you for offering your feedback. You will hear a brief series of questions. You may also be prompted to provide additional comments after the last question. Think now about your experience with our automated attendant. On a scale from 1 to 5, with 1 being poor and 5 being excellent.
Time now is 2:05 p.m. Today is Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024. The duration of this recording is 42 minutes and 29 seconds.